Nice one, cool dudes. I'm here in the beautiful city of Cambridge. What am I doing? Yes, you know, because you've read the title. I'm about to undertake a ghost walk, and I've used the Cambridge Ghost Book by Robert Halliday and Alan Murdy as a source for this incredible journey. I've picked the best 7 ghost stories, and I'm going to take you on a tour of them. And we're starting here at Trinity College. Why? Because this is where the infamous Ghost Club was formed back in 1851, and it's been described as a society for the investigation of ghosts and all supernatural appearances and apparitions. And this led to the Society for Psychical Research, which is famous for investigating the paranormal. And was there a ghost here? Yes, there was. William Wordsworth's brother was one of the blokes in charge, and one day a student lodger came along and asked for a room. He was sent to an empty, vacated room in the college. Only that night he saw the ghost of a small boy walking around with his palms outstretched. Subsequently, he didn't get any sleep and probably needed the bed sheets changed in the morning. That's not even the best ghost story. We're going to find out those soon. Let's go. Good luck, everyone, especially me. Now we're here outside Jesus College, or Jesus College, depending on where you're from. And this is the home of a story by Arthur Gray, who wrote a lot of ghost stories, and his most famous one was about the Everlasting Club, which has become a bit of a myth. And it goes like this. Back in 1738, Alan Dermot formed a club with 6 other students called the Everlasting Club, and they would do a meeting on All Saints' Day, November the 2nd, every year. And they said they would do it in corporal form and incorporeal form, so they would carry on mating after they were dead. Pretty ambitious, right? But what happened next? Oh, poor old Alan got killed in a duel, but strangely his name appeared on the club's register a week later. Then another member called Henry Davenport also failed to attend. Guess what happened to him? Oh yeah, a week later, killed by a cannonball. By the year 1766, there was only one member of the Everlasting Club left, Charles Belassis. November the 2nd came, and terrified, he locked himself inside his study. Other members of the college said they heard raucous goings-on in there at 10 o'clock till midnight, and then silence. The next morning, his study was opened up. There were 7 chairs out. 6 were empty, except for one. Sitting on it was Charles Belassis, his face frozen in terror. Yeah, you're right. He was dead. Pretty scary, right? Good. Let's move on. I'm now outside Christ's College, cool dudes, which is a setting for a famous doomed love triangle. Many years ago, this was the home of 2 students, Philip Collier, a handsome, clever young man, and his friend Christopher Round. Christopher Round was jealous of Collier. He had all the good looks and won all the awards, and they both fell in love with the same woman. Typical. A lady called Mary Clifford. Unfortunately for Round, Mary Clifford fell in love with Philip Collier, but slowly Philip Collier's behaviour deteriorated, and he was seen wandering around drunk and just off his face. One night, a jealous Christopher Round got into a fight with Collier and killed him. Later on, it was discovered that the reason that Collier was acting so strange was because he was taking narcotics and trying different drugs on himself, because poor old Mary Clifford had a disease and he was trying to find the cure. So in killing Philip Collier, he'd also condemned his love Mary Clifford to death. Christopher Round spent his final years a lonely figure, and many people saw his ghost wandering Fellows Garden. It was only after his death that Round confessed to murdering Collier. A tragic story, ruined by the noise from other tourists. And now, cool dudes, I'm here at the Archaeology Museum, where the infamous T.C. Lethbridge wrote a story called Ghosts and Ghouls. I should tell you what happens in it now. Once upon a time there was an Englishman, and he had a set of 4 small animal bones, each of them about 4 inches long, and they're covered in strange rough geometrical patterns and threaded onto a string. Worried that the bones might be cursed, he took them here to get rid of them at the museum. But the very same day, he died from a burst abscess. It doesn't stop there, cool dudes. Another bloke came to the museum and he had an identical set of bones. He handed them over to the museum, but a few days later he was discovered inside his own room, tied up and suffocated, but all the doors were locked. So, who tied him up and suffocated him? Moral of the story is, if someone gives you 4 strange animal bones, immediately tell them to Now, cool dudes, I'm here on Trumpington Street. It looks like a nice place to live, right? Wrong. Many years ago, in the 18th century, or maybe even 19th, I can't remember, a lady came here to look at a house she wanted to buy. The maid showed her in, and while she was waiting for the owner, she noticed a portrait on the wall. It was a lady dressed in a green dress and a green hat with a red feather, but she had an awful scowl on her face. That's not very nice. The owner came down and showed her around, and at the end she said, "Oh, by the way, I suppose I should tell you, this house is haunted, but they're just silly stories." The lady buying the house asked what form the ghost took, and the owner said, "Oh, a lady wearing a green dress with a green hat and a red feather at the bed." The prospective buyer said, "I just saw a picture of her in the living room," and they went down to look at it. There was no picture of a green lady, just a landscape. Behind me, cool dudes, is Corpus Christi, where Dr. Butts was the master of the college in 1626, and it was his job to choose a play for the visit of King Charles I in 1632. Unfortunately, the one he chose was ridiculed and booed by the audience, and he was severely reprimanded by the Chancellor. Subsequently, he committed suicide. But that's just the beginning of the story, because between 1903 and 1904, there were so many apparitions that 3 brave students decided to drive out the spirits from the old lodge, and they obtained an English translation of a medieval exorcism ceremony. And when they called upon the spirit to appear, a ghostly apparition formed in front of them, and it looked a lot like a man from the 17th century. Dr. Butts, maybe. This apparition floated up the stairs into another student's room, a poor bloke called Milner. He emerged from the room saying, "I'm cold, I am so cold," and then had a sort of fit on the floor. Anyway, news of the exorcism spread, and luckily there were no repercussions for the 4 students involved, but it said that Milner became very spiritual after the experience. But later on, some documents were found which said that the doorway where the apparition formed was where Dr. Butts hung himself. Possibly the scariest ghost of the walk so far, a floating butt. Just one more left, cool dudes. Let's go to the pub. Finally, the ghost walk is finished. Pretty terrifying. And the final stop is the Eagle pub. Is that haunted? Yes. As part of the lease, a window must be kept open at all times at the back of the pub, because 300 years ago there was a fire in which 3 children were sadly killed. And if that window is closed at any time, it's said that everyone in the pub will experience a strange suffocating feeling. Terrifying. Cool dudes, I hope you enjoyed the walk. If you did, why not join the Cool Dudes Walking Club? How do I do that? Just go to this page, click on what tier you'd like to join, And in return, you get to use these emojis and watch these extra videos and get entered into the prize draw at the end of each episode. Who could ask for more? No one. It started to rain. I want to go home. I'm scared. Please, leave me alone, ghosts. There's only one thing left to say. Stay cool. Spooky. Oh, yes, you're right. What a masterpiece. One of my favourite paintings I've done so far there in acrylic gouache. This is Corpus Christi, and this original frame masterpiece can be yours, as usual, bidding on eBay, this time starting at 14 whole pounds. Link down below somewhere. Well, cool dude, before the prize draw, it's time to tell you that the last of my horror keyrings are currently on sale, and due to public pressure, I started making pigeon keyrings. I can't believe I'm making pigeons of something I hate just to try and make money. Anyway, it's time for the prize draw, and currently there are 671 of you cool dudes who are members on YouTube, and your membership helps me, well, basically pays for me to do all these walks and do this as a job. So thank you very much. And in return, you're all entered into the prize draw. I get YouTube to list you in order of how long you've been a member. So if you join and rejoin later on, your old membership still counts. So the oldest member is number 1, and the newest member is 671. So all of you in the prize draw, it's for this. Sandown Clown Zine, 3 cards by Stripey Art, the stickers, a pen and keyring by Cow's Laser, a weird ghoul keyring I made, a ghost hunter badge, and one of those flying aeroplane things, which is a bar now. Pretty cool, right? Random number generator. Generate me a number. Generate 494. The 494th longest serving member who's been a member for 7 months is Scott M. Scott, I have your details. I'll email you and get that cool stuff sent off to you. It's time for your keyrings now. These are just monster keyrings this week, so if you sent me a picture of another keyring, it'll be later on if I haven't lost it somewhere. Please send them landscape mode. That's it. Only one thing left to say. Stay cool. Oh no, stay cool. Stay cool. It's Halloween. Stay cool.